So started the stream. I think I can't tell if there's lag or not. No, I don't fucking know. Okay. So that's where we're at. I gotta turn my iPad on. Get my fancy. I just got it all going on, man. It's like, what the fuck? And I'm cursing. I never. Holy crap.
Nintendo Guru After Dark.
That's what it is. It's essentially that's what we're looking at right now. So
you just watch what you say. Josh Stapleton is listening.
Yeah, he's standing right over there, your shoulder.
Oh, Josh Stapleton in the house. What is up, sir? How are you? We're just a couple seconds. We'll be. I don't even know. I don't even know the topics. I kind of like the fact that I'm just gonna let you guys give me the topics.
Oh, me and Jason had this down to a well-oiled machine.
Yep, it's a thing of beauty.
We did we set it up for 5 minutes going live. 2 people would be here. Bobby throws up something that barely even works. A dozen
18.
people show up instantly.
You guys can run it if you want. It doesn't matter to me.
Dude, don't misunderstand. Please understand.
Okay, so let's give me 1 second here. We will we'll go live in 1.
No, we're live right now.
Yeah, we're already live.
Well,
none of those F-bombs,
you know what
Bobby.
I mean. You know what I mean? Like start the show, like that type of thing. Like this is the absolute mess that happens, the train wreck that happens before the show. Let's just.
It's okay. I'll still give you a thumbs up, Bobby.
Okay, thank
Rybo.
We need Rybo to come fix all this nonsense. Okay, here we go.
Need a PC.
Okay. Time to go.
Are you ready?
What I said! Are you ready?
Can't do it. We'll do it live.
You think that you're better?
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Bow to the masters. Break it down.
If we ran Nintendo. If we ran Nintendo. If we ran Nintendo.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 113 of If We Ran Nintendo. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the greatest co-host in all the land, Sean Capri. What's up, Sean?
Bobby, I'm coming to you live from Josh Stapleton's room this week. I got some cereal over here. Look at all these great movies and PS3 games. Oh, look a nice Wii collection down over here. It's great, man. It's good to be in Utah. I'm glad to be traveling the country. Nintendo's taking me all my dream locations around the world, man. How are you?
I hate the fact that you do this now.
I might be in space next week. You never know, man. Space Force!
Oh, gosh.
Sean, I also want to say, what is up to the greatest beard in all of podcasting, Mr. Jason Lacey. What is up, Jason?
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I'm still in vacation mode. That's why I got my paddy wagon tank top rocking.
Oh, jealous.
Let's not make that a thing. Like,
Tank Bros.
I gotta
Bros.
Stop. No. Please, God, no. I gotta look at
Look how white that is.
I gotta look at this kid on Sundays, man. I gotta deal with it. Like, come on, man. Please, no. So, how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing probably better than your stream's doing, Bobby. But I'm okay. I watch all your videos with my son tonight.
I saw that. That was good.
Yeah, he likes it. He likes the Mario that pops up, and then it's like you talk directly to him. It's nice. You can say Bobby.
No,
Bobby.
No,
yeah, he said Bobby.
Really?
Yeah. He said Bobby.
That is amazing.
And then he shit himself and drank bathwater.
Oh, good lord!
You gotta take him down a notch or two. You know, he can't be like he's the smartest kid in the world.
You know, I made a cardinal mistake already. I meant to sit down before the show started.
No, Bobby!
And I totally forgot. So now I'm like stuck standing.
It's okay. Standing desk.
That's all right.
You're gonna have more energy. You're gonna be powerful.
You know what? I probably should be standing because it's 10:30 for me now, and I'll be falling asleep probably in an hour. So that's fine with me. Hey guys, I'm gonna ready to ask you guys how you're doing again. That really makes a lot of sense. It's been a long week, man. So okay, here's a question for you guys, because I believe I can pose this to the audience too, because I'm really not 100% sure if these videos I'm doing, these free flow videos, are okay on Fridays. What do you guys? What's your opinion on Mort?
I like it. I personally like it. I think it's a nice. It breaks up the content and it gives you a chance to just not free flow. I mean, like you said, I think it's a good way. I like it. I enjoy it.
I'm the same. And Dallas Robin says he loves the Friday movies. Here's the thing, Bobby, that I just realized today when I was watching is that we don't celebrate Fridays anymore. We used to have TGIF. We used to be like, finally, the weekend is here, and like all of a sudden, Fridays don't mean anything. So thank you for bringing that back to us, Bobby. We needed it.
It's actually to me, and that's all it is. It's just more or less like because you know what it is. We do this show on Friday nights, and I feel like this is my serious moment, more or less. Like this is where we're gonna get into serious topics,
super
and things
serious.
like that. And I mean, not really,
Todd.
You know what I'm talking about. Like we're going to kind of go through things. Listen, Todd Oxford is the thing of the past. He is now. He is now dead. We're not doing all this nonsense.
He was on the Warp Whistle podcast, like literally this week.
Yeah, he stole my thunder, man. I got kicked off the show, and then they bring him.
Yeah, there's the root of that comment.
Like, what the hell is that all about? But you know what?
Upset.
It's no. It's fine. It's like there's no accidental F-bombs in the free flow. I always edit my stuff. Did I do that? I didn't accidentally curse in today's show, did I?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
Mr. Tibbles, I don't believe you.
If you did, you should apologize and then blame Jason Schreier from Kotaku.
Oh boy.
Do we want to discuss that a little bit or no?
No, I just want to take cheap shots wherever I can. I don't want to like directly take it on.
I don't agree with that though. That's
taking the cheap shots.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun.
Well, the guy.
Did you watch the apology?
I watched
the apology.
So I watched the apology. I really didn't have an issue with it. I felt like he apologized to who he needed to apologize. I'll be honest with you. When I read the Jason Schreier thing, I didn't see that much of a similarity in that review as I did with the other review. The Dead Cells one was an absolute ripoff. No questions about it. That one I felt like, was it really? I don't know. It's hard to tell, man.
Here's the thing, man. I have written a number of reviews, and sure, there's a somewhat limited vocabulary to describe certain types of games. Metroidvania games are Metroidvania games are Metroidvania games.
Yeah.
The points that he was making were strung together in exactly the same way. And they all, like one sentence, you borrowed at least a few words or phrases tied to the next ones that led into the next. Like, it's not just like that the words he used were the same, which they were, but they were also done in the exact same order.
What I guess what I'm talking about
is the FIFA one as well.
I'm talking about the FIFA one. You feel like the FIFA one was like that?
Both of them, especially the FIFA one.
I didn't see.
But the most bling thing. Yeah, I mean, we could go back and forth on that.
Well, listen, you write reviews. I don't write reviews. I don't know. Mine's all video stuff. So
I just think that it's very strange that the points that were brought up at the same points of the review that were posed in the same order, and then also using the same words, if not like using a thesaurus to swap out like gratifying for satisfying and shit like that.
I think ultimately what he's trying to do at this point is, and I don't want to get into schematics of he stole this, he stole that. I want to talk about this in this particular situation.
Yeah, the apology I think was even worse than all of it, to be honest.
You thought him apologizing to fans?
I didn't think it was an apology. I don't think he actually said, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." I don't think he actually said, "I did it. I'm sorry. I will never do it again. I know better now."
Well, that part he didn't. That part he didn't. I think the one thing I'll take away from this, and it's the one thing I said in my video yesterday, and I stand by it. Me, Bobby Pauls, you, Sean Capri, you, Jason Lacey. We have zero horse in this race. So for us to attack him, I don't see the point of that.
Fair.
And for people to say what he said today, like going after his family, that's disrespectful.
We can agree on that.
Yeah,
totally agree on that.
Yeah,
obviously.
Like if I'm an asshole, that's fine. Come after me, but don't go after my mom and my dad and my brothers and that's stupid. Like that to me, that makes no sense whatsoever, and why people would do that just befuddles me completely.
Agreed.
So that's where I made the point in the video I did the other day. Of course, he came out and people are just exploding. I mean, dude, he's got like 800 likes and like 2,300 dislikes. Like they're blasting him on that video.
Right.
And look, at the end of the day, the only ones that I feel have the issue was it Boomerang Games, IGN, Boomstick. That's it. On Boomerang, Boomstick, IGN, and the developers of games. They're the main ones that have the issues. Now, if you want to go in and say Nintendo Life, yeah, okay, so then that's where that is. I feel like what he was trying to do is, and what he's trying to do is, he's trying to salvage his position in this and say, like, I only
that's
did
my
this
problem
one
with
time.
it.
And that's
my problem with it.
Yeah, and that's not the problem. You need to just go away. Like, he screwed up, and that's like, you screwed up big time. Like, so that's where, like, you need to figure yourself out, buddy, and like, I don't know. So anyway,
sucks.
Let's kick this episode off. We do each and every episode with our shout.
Geek outs, yes. Finally, geek outs are back.
Stupid
Yes.
Geek outs are.
Look at this.
Geek outs will be Sunday for those that don't, you know.
Yeah, but only every other week. Look at this sweet. Oh, look, the case is invisible.
Whoa!
Oh no! It's only pink.
Good God, what is this stupidness? That's
look
awesome.
at the sweat. Look at this sweat on my forehead on the backside. Look at that. You see that?
So I want to throw this one to Lacey first. What's throw a little shout out.
You know, this is going to probably be cliche. It might be sappy. It might be sentimental, but I have to give a shout out to you guys because, first of all, I was looking very much forward to the return of Bobby. Wished I could have been a part of it. Unfortunately, can't. Sorry, honey. You would go on vacation. I got to do this podcast thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. She didn't take it. She didn't take the bait.
One thing though, I feel like it was kind of fitting that Sean and I,
and I like that.
Did that. You know what I mean? Like this is don't get me wrong. I love that you're a part of this. Don't get me wrong at all. You're much better than Joseph Moran. I appreciate you being here than Moran.
Oof.
He's not here right now, so I can say that. See, if he was here, I wouldn't have said that. But I took a shot because he's not here. So
fair.
No, but
he could be here. He chose not to be here, so that's his problem.
That's his problem. So no, but the thing is, like, I really, we've had the three of us have had the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, like I totally agreed when you stepped in, and then when we made this decision for me to come back, I was fully behind like keeping you here and all that stuff. So
yeah,
but go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the bigger picture of it because I remember watching the show back in the day. And it's like, man, one day I hope I could be a guest on If We Ran Nintendo, and then I got to be a guest on If We Ran Nintendo. You just had to die first.
Well, that's when Sean took it to some weird place of like, we're just gonna bring everybody on and just but go ahead.
And then, it's funny how things come full spectrum. And then I was like, Sean asked me, and I was like, if this is just a smaller podcast out there, but I've never been asked into that situation. Any podcast I've been on, I kind of helped build from the ground up. So I mean, I took it as a serious deal. It was for me, it was a big deal to step in to an established product and to help continue its legacy. I think If We Nintendo had a legacy, and it was flattering to be asked to be a part of that. And of course, in the back of my head, I always had to think, Bobby's got it. Bobby's going to be back. I mean, I'm a stopgap here. I'm gonna do the thing, and I'm gonna give it back to him, and then it's gonna be its thing. And then you guys are like, hey, why don't you stay here? And so I, thank you, because it's great to be here.
The truth of the matter is in my mind, it was never you being a stopgap. And I believe me and Sean even discussed it, was like, let's bring him in, and then when the time comes, if he wants to stay on board, we just keep him on board and go. It was never an issue of like, you come in, ride the horse, get us to the finish line, and then you're like, okay, get out. Like, that was never in our minds that way. So, Sean, what about you? You got any shout outs?
I thought you were going to take the cliche, like, I want to thank the community, and I'm really glad that you didn't. Because I want to thank, I need to use it this time. I need to use it today, or this week. I announced that the Xbox Drive was going to be shutting down, and I got a lot of people saying, no, please say it isn't true, and that was a great show, and I enjoyed it. Nintendo Dads reached out and said it's the only Xbox show we listened to. Actually, quite a few people said, I don't even own an Xbox, but I really like that show. So I want to give a shout out to everybody who was a part of it. I want to give a shout out to Dave. Thank him for 48, I think, or 49 amazing episodes, and everybody who reached out and said that they enjoyed it. That meant a lot, and that was a tweet that I just sent out to go, like, just to make it formal. It's
Right.
done. Like, this is it. And to get like a response like that was very encouraging.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, the Xbox Drive is over. Working on something to be maybe working in its place, hopefully in a couple weeks here. So stay tuned for that. My Xbox podcast while driving to work. Our days are far from over, so stay tuned for more.
Sean, can I get a bah in morning?
Oh man, I don't even have like an intro on this show to do anymore, man. So, so yeah, I just wanted to, and maybe there'll be a time when I maybe on We the Gamercast, or maybe at some point I'll talk a little bit more clearly on it and why it happened, and really the crux of it was just to try and simplify the Make Us Better, which I'm probably the most complicated part of Make Us Better. So. That was pretty much it. Bobby's giggling over there, and I'm not sure what he's smiling about.
I can actually listen to the show once again. Maybe I'll even tweet out whenever the show is
on your own
available. You know.
Okay. 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 Yeah,
It's
I'm
funny-
excited. I'm excited to see what's next.
It's funny because I know what you guys are talking about, and other people don't. So it's
Other
funny.
people
It's
don't.
like an inside joke, and I get it.
That's sweet.
Anyway.
So thank you.
Anyway,
Yes.
So I got 3 shout outs I want to do. Two are going to be real quick. One is to my wife Tony. The other one is to Jonathan Brown. We kicked off Breaking Bells today. Tony, I think, did a really good job. It was her first podcast she's ever done. So I was really pleased with how that turned out. Jonathan Brown with the outro music. This kid is a genius, man. Like that little ditty at the end is just like, I love it, man. It was perfect. He threw it at me like a week or 2 ago, and it's like, I love it. So thank you so much for that. The other one is Josh Thomas from the BitBlock. I don't know how many of you guys know who this guy is or anything like that, but him and I have had differences. We've straightened them differences out. We're friends again. His dog passed away a couple of days ago over the weekend. And he put out a very heartfelt video, just basically losing his mind about the situation. And today he put out a thank you video, but he even said, like, in that video, like, hey man, I feel like this has changed me in terms of, like, I know that I've been a jerk. And he kind of feels like it's, at one point in the video, he references that it could have been like a karma thing, the way he treats people. This was a way to, like, humble him and straighten him out and stuff. And I've been talking to him privately via Skype, and just my heart goes out to the guy, man. Like, I've been down, I've been there. Like, literally, the dog was fine one day, and then the next day they're putting it down, and it's like it's not one of those things where it was like sick, slow progression. It was just like done. So I feel for him. I feel for his family. So I just wanted to real quick give that shout out because when I was gone, he would message me from time to time saying, man, you got to get back. You have to. The Nintendo community on YouTube needs you. You need to be here making videos. And that meant a lot to me because I do consider Josh like a really good Nintendo YouTuber. When he's not being negative, and we all know that, but like, since he's refreshed and going back to the BitBlock, he's actually been very good, very positive in his videos, and everything's like totally shifted. And him and Jules are straighten their problems out, and they're friends, and they're talking all the time and stuff too. So it's like really did a 180 on everything, and just really in a good place. But that aside, I just figured I would just throw that out there. So. That's all I got.
All right. Well, that is all.
Anybody else have
Thank everybody for being here.
So let's jump into topics. I proposed 3 topics to you guys. I didn't expect us to hit them all. I just threw 3 in there in the bag.
Okay.
It's okay. The last one's just a quick no, Bobby. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not what we do, Sean. We don't do quick news. You know that. But I'll let you guys pick the topic you want to do, and then we can just flow off of that. So. I don't know which one out of the 3 you guys are interested in.
After you, sir.
I mean, I feel like we could be topical a little bit. I think, running with Smash, I think it's just fitting. We had the Direct. It just works to that's the hype.
Okay.
That's in the mindset.
Wait a minute. Look how chill Jason's being like, you know what? maybe if we want to, like, in the interest of being topical and timely, like, you are stoked for Smash. Like, for people who don't know, Jason is going to be streaming Smash for 72 hours a day somehow.
It's pretty much. Donnie told me the secret. Donnie told me the secret how I can play it on release day. I go into work, but I really take the day off and I go to a hotel across the street and I just bring my Switch.
That's a new age nerd cheating, right? He's like cheating on your wife and you can actually like sexual.
I like that idea.
Yeah, go find a hotel.
See, the nice
hide
thing
in your
is,
car.
Or you could do the Bobby Paul's way. You just get divorced.
True.
And then you can just play games all day long. You ain't got to worry about it. You can get two 50-inch TVs side by side in the living room. You have your Superman statues and your Joker statues in the living room. Like, have this behind me. Like, it's tempting.
Hey, man.
It's tempting.
Yeah. Your ex can do your intros, your daily videos.
Yeah, don't do it. It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing you'll ever do. Don't do it.
Yeah, no doubt.
So the topic is, if we ran Nintendo, how would we introduce third-party characters into the game of Smash Brothers? Meaning, is it just a matter of, hey, come be part of the game, or would we go like, hey, we want to take a cut of future games if you decide? Because here's the thing. I look at the example to me is Mega Man. Mm-hmm. So last console, the Wii U, Mega Man's DOA. Like, no one's talking Mega Man at all. They did kind of drum up a little bit of talk when they came out with that Mighty No. 9 garbage that came out.
Oh, God.
But still, Capcom came with nothing to help that at all.
Right.
Nintendo puts out Smash, brings in Mega Man into Smash, and suddenly we got like a Mega Man revitalization going on here. So I look at what happened the other day, and here's Simon Belmont showing up. Spoilers if you didn't know that he's Smash now. But Simon Belmont shows up, which honestly could lead to, you know, Konami doing the same thing, doing like some collections, getting the hype build up, and then putting out a brand new game, you know, a brand new Castlevania game. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if Nintendo should implement some type of thing where it's like, we need to get a cut out of something. And that's what I wanted to see what you guys thought about this. Like, I'll throw it to you guys. What's your philosophy that we would kind of kick in?
My answer is always going to be Amiibo, Bobby, especially when you bring in the part about Nintendo getting their cut. Like, they get the sales on the Amiibo, and then they can that's the original. Like, Smash is the original reason that Amiibo is a thing. Yeah. Like, whether that's like, it's just the thing that makes the most sense from it in terms of like its origin. So I think like with Shovel Knight now being in there, like kind of started from there being an Amiibo and like, oh man, that definitely means he's going to be in Smash. And then sure enough, like, I feel like they could have some sort of crazy either DLC or Amiibo plan and strategy that over the next like 12 months, that there's going to be a release of a new character once a month, and they're going to have their own like Amiibo, and we can have that whole craze again. And it doesn't have to be crazy either. Like, it doesn't have to be like, okay, on this date, 7 new Amiibo are going to come out. And so you got to go like, and 2 of them are over at GameSpot and 6 are over at Target or whatever else. Yeah. Just one. And then like everybody can kind of go nuts about it, and everybody's trying out this new character and how that's manageable from like coding it and balancing and everything. That's kind of where I was thinking with this topic. I don't know, Jason, what do you think, man?
For me, like, I look at as the Smash character as like a celebration of the history of that character, like the history of Nintendo. And I guess that makes me like the purist, the gatekeeper. It's like, this is like a legit club. You just can't let anybody in here, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I know like so many people are hopeful, like Shovel Knight, and we get him as a assist trophy. But then all of a sudden today, he's announced as a playable fighter in another Smash Brothers type game, Rivals of Aether. And it looks, I'm sorry, the trailer, I've played Rivals a few times, the trailer for him in there, amazing. The music, the sprite,
That's not what I thought you were going to say. That is
amazing.
Not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, it's amazing. So I just don't want any character just to be, you know, throw some money at Nintendo and be like, oh, let's get so and so in here. No,
you mean like Mercedes in Mario Kart?
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing of it is like, okay, so Amiibo is a thing, obviously, but Nintendo also gives a cut to the third parties on that. Like, that's not Nintendo taking all that toy money.
Right, because it's their intellectual property, so they're gonna get something.
Sure.
There's some deal. There's some deal worked out. It just, but as interesting as that was, like, didn't it feel just a little weird and out of place that Mercedes crap was in Mario Kart? It felt like just a little.
Well, yeah.
So I don't want to see that to Smash. Smash is my game. I don't want to see that happen to Smash with these weird off things. But going to the like pulling Simon Belmont, like that makes me think of let's Ryu Hayabusa, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, man.
That would be, you're gonna pull back stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be a great bring back. Especially like this era. There's somebody, especially with Simon, that's hitting a specific age group because there's like Donnie said in Nintendo Shack, his son was like, who is that? I have no idea. Could care less. Had no idea who Simon was. So it's like a specific demographic that's really appealing to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's just.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is this. The way I'm thinking it is because to me the biggest slap in the face was Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 hits the 3DS, never goes to the Wii U time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 doesn't come to the 3DS, but it goes to PS4 and Xbox. And my thing is that those collections mean nothing unless Mega Man's in Smash. Because in my mind, that again, it revitalized Mega Man. Like people lost their minds.
Yeah.
When Mega Man showed up.
I was one of them.
It was insanity,
Yeah, Nintendo's done the best use of some of these properties than these, like Namco and Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Pac-Man and Smash has been much better utilized than what Pac-Man's done for how many years. I'm sure James Johnson might come after me and say otherwise, but let's face it.
But
hasn't done a whole lot else.
That's why I was thinking Bubble Bobble. Why can't we bring the dinosaurs from Bubble Bobble back?
The Snow Brothers.
That's what I'm talking about. What about the hockey players from
Captain Skyhawk?
Stop it. Okay, listen. So my thinking is
Bobby regrets this immediately. He's just gonna shut this down.
So my thinking is
I can take it from here.
So my thinking is we go with
YouTube.com
timed exclusives where it's like, hey, we get if you're gonna do a Castlevania collection, we get a timed exclusive on that Castlevania collection where you're not taking that thing to PS4 and Xbox right out the gate.
Right.
You're going to give it to us first. We get 6 months of this thing sitting on our console before it even goes anyplace else. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. Obviously, doing the money thing isn't going to really work because nobody's going to give you money. They're going to be like, why do we need you? You know what I mean? Like, there's still ego behind all that. But you look at a thing like, you just... Dude, they have I don't care what anybody says. Them putting Simon Belmont in Smash is going to revitalize that character. Dude, Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I mean, it's a great game, but it really did nothing until... For me personally, I was just like, okay, who's this Shulk character? Then I played as him, and I'm like... I remember talking to Toby, I'm like, I got to go play this Xenoblade Chronicles. Where can I get my hands on it?
See?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that Nintendo is able to accomplish with this Smash franchise. So
like when's the last time you talked about Castlevania?
Dude,
besides Flex-A-Pose, because we referenced a stupid joke for Metal Gear Solid, and there's some other because we play a remix from Castlevania every other week.
Mm-hmm.
But
the only time this is God's honest truth. The only time that I've talked about Castlevania recently was oh my god, Bloodstained. When I talked about the Bloodstained game.
Yeah.
That's it. And in that conversation, oh my god, I wish I could get a new get a new Castlevania game. Like and the other time was just gonna name drop when I was out to dinner with Colin Moriarty, Jules Watson.
You went to dinner with Colin Moriarty?
Oh my god, yeah, dude, yes. It was,
I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me that?
You should mention that sometime. I was eating kale
that.
And stuff. It was amazing. But
kale.
I know what the hell. But
is he a good tipper? I imagine he's a really good tipper.
We're not gonna get into that. I'm definitely not gonna get into that. So no, but he at that point he makes up. We start talking Castlevania at dinner, but that's because he's a huge Castlevania fan. And we also talked to Mega Man as well, and he's a huge Mega Man fan. But, like, the thing of it is, like, other than those 2 times, I haven't personally talked about at all Castlevania. And I'm just going to answer Luke. I watched the Netflix show episode 1 was the best. The rest was garbage. I think it's a good show. You know what I mean? I think it'll get better as the seasons go on. But I don't believe that for a second that that's the reason why they're putting Simon Belmont here. Like, I think that even that cartoon didn't really move the needle for the franchise. I feel like people got hyped for it, but it was such a small amount that got hyped.
Yeah.
Go watch the reaction videos that are all over YouTube. People just lost their mind. I lost my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I am a huge Castlevania. Well, I'm just a huge NES fan, but I love Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2. I love that game.
Yep.
Dude, when I saw the chain hitting the Grim Reaper, I was like, oh my god, that's Simon Belmont. And it was just like, the minute he like pulled off, and it was like, dude, I lost my mind. So, for me, and that's the other thing, man, Nintendo just does this thing with their announcements that is just like on point. That just gets the hype levels through the roof when they do stuff. So,
yeah.
So we're not bringing the hockey players from Blades of Steel?
Assist trophies.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, that's actually a good call.
How about we could get a good hockey game first, and then we'll talk about that.
Give me any hockey game on Switch, please. Oh wait, did the old time hockey that ever even come out?
You have
on
one
Switch?
coming. My understanding is, I can't talk about it. Never mind. I realized I can't. It wasn't announced. I can't say anything. That screwed up my bad.
Secrets.
So, okay, so Luke is saying, does K. Rool represent the only Microsoft property? I don't think K. Rool is. Okay.
No, I don't count him.
Yeah, good point.
So that's the question. Is that a Rare character or is that a Nintendo character? Because I hear differing points all the time that Nintendo owns King K. Rool, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that goes now with the license and with Microsoft and all that with them. I don't. Yeah, because has he appeared in any other game besides? Because I'm not too familiar with Donkey Kong. Besides,
he's never
Donkey
been
Kong
in.
Country.
He was not in the new ones. He wasn't in the Wii U version, the Wii version, or the new one.
So that would lead, like, from that analogy, that would lead me to believe that he's only appeared in that one game. He's still. I mean, that still game is copyrighted to Nintendo and Rare, right? Yeah. So, I mean, but who knows with rights and there's legal spiel that, jargon that will carry that on for days. So who knows?
I'm still very hopeful that Nintendo can work something and get Banjo-Kazooie in Smash. Because who's the main players that we feel have to come to Smash? Who is out there that we're just like, you know what? Why are these guys missing now? Like, is there?
Well, here's the one that everybody says is Goku, and I want to bring this up because I thought about the Ninja Turtles as well, and then I wanted to ask Jason because you mentioned like this is a celebration of video games, and I'm like, I was thinking Ninja Turtles, I was gonna blurt it out, and then you're like celebration of video games, and I'm like,
no, like Jacob and I talked about Ninja Turtles about them being in Smash when I was on this Nostalgia,
and I would be allowed, like, obviously it's a lot of how we all consume Ninja Turtles video games,
especially after have seen them in in Infinite, what is it? Injustice, Gods Among Us. They're in that, and how awesome
obviously the Splatoon thing as well. Like there's.
I think it would be I think they'd be a perfect fit. Plus, there was that as Jacob educated me, there was this crappy Wii game. I think that was like a Smash clone featuring the Turtles.
See, me personally, I've always felt like the Turtles are comic book cartoon first, video game because of that. Same thing I feel about Goku. That's not a video game franchise.
No, I don't think him as a video game franchise.
It's built off of cartoon. And that's my thing is I feel like if I'm running Nintendo, I'm keeping it strictly video games. I'm not getting into this thing of like, because the thing of it is like, I don't feel like the Ninja Turtles fit. And I could be wrong. It's weird. I just feel like it's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a hard line because I feel like then it opens the door to stuff that it might be a rabbit hole we might not want to go down. I don't know. And I know people want Goku. I know that they scream for him all the time, but I personally wouldn't do that one. I would beg Microsoft for Battletoads though.
Ooh, that'd be sweet. What about
that
Bayou
is like
Billy?
the Ninja Turtles of video games, really.
I mean, ultimately, that's
Yeah.
what it was. It was the competition to the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
You know,
It was. Rare wanted to do Ninja Turtles. They're like, well, I guess we'll just make this up instead.
yeah.
And do 3 instead of 4. What about? Okay, so I was gonna go over to like, why don't you just take everybody from PlayStation All Stars? And I'm like, well, that's kind of silly. But could you imagine a Sackboy amiibo? Could you imagine if Sackboy was in? Because he's as a character, Sackboy is amazing, and he unfortunately was thrown into a game that was absolute trash. But the character is adorable. I would love to see Sackboy come on over and just have this like, but they don't crossplay.
I thought they made a Sackboy amiibo.
Well, they would have not an amiibo.
They had their little
I
statue.
feel like you're
thingy-
joking about
thingy
something.
jobber.
They did their own kind of weird thing.
Bad bits
More
in
than
chat.
just the
He'll tell
amiibo,
us.
I would love to have Sackboy, or maybe even Parappa come on over. Right, like those would be big moments, man. But that would be big.
If he would rap every move.
See, okay, so that's the thing, though. We know. I mean, that's a guarantee that that's not coming. I'm not saying that any of these things that we're saying is going to come, but I mean, like, Sony won't even do crossplay. So the fact of them going like, "Oh, here's our characters," because I want to think that like when all the stuff was happening, like the ballots, Phil Spencer's the only one that was like, "Hey, if you want Microsoft stuff, you can have them." You know what I mean? Like he actually came out and tweeted and was like, "Hey, take it." I don't remember Sony saying like, "Hey, you could take Nathan Drake." Or
No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Conker's my answer of the rare characters. I want Conker.
I just came up with a legendary character from NES history. The most powerful character in any game. Bo Jackson for Smash.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God!
Oh Jackson!
My God, dude, Tecmo Bowl.
How
That's amazing.
awesome. Bo Jackson. That's my pick. The most powerful character in all of video games.
What about Dragon Quest? There's nobody from Dragon Quest in this game.
Yeah, there's a reason. Because there's no standouts in Dragon Quest. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, there's no character you go like they got to be in. You know what I mean? Like,
that's how people would have felt about like, because for people like us, like normies, not total nerds who like Dragon Quest, there's probably a lot of people who'd be pumped about that. I bet Cal would be pumped about that.
Maybe. I think that
Black Mage from Final Fantasy.
Because like I didn't know anything about I was gonna say Kingdom Hearts, freaking Fire Emblem. I didn't know anything about Fire Emblem, and now I see all these characters. I'm like, oh yeah, like that. It's that kind of effect that you kind of need, and I think that like with Fire Emblem, there was a diehard fan base, and you throw a couple characters in, you have that cross pollination that could work with third parties with whatever they get the game I just said.
So I like
Dragon
the fact
Quest.
that like Cal is saying King Hippo from Punch Out. That would be really kind of cool. And also Dude 427 is saying Chrono Trigger. I think Chrono Trigger would be huge.
Oh, good call. Actually, that's the winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be Frog and Chrono.
Oh my God! Could you imagine the final Smash like just like a stopwatch coming up and then the ship?
Oh my gosh! Stop!
Oh, that would be amazing.
Stop, Bobby!
That'd be
Stop.
amazing.
Yep. That's it.
The Epoch flying in.
That is all.
So the one thing that people keep referencing or bringing up, and I'm curious what you guys feel. What about Crash?
Nope.
Nope.
Keep them out.
You really think
Like Jason said, there's a standard. You can't just let anybody in. This guy, he made fun of Nintendo right from the start. You can't let it. No, like the Sonic is far enough.
Sonic
okay,
but that's the thing. Like I look at it and I go, like he's the final piece, and it's the closest you're going to get to getting something in Sony in there, in my opinion. Like because Sony's never going to, but because Sony doesn't really own the rights to the character anymore, we can kind of get away with it and get him in there. The one thing Cal did say that I want to bring up is, which makes a good point. He's saying slime as an assist trophy. That would be perfect because the slimes, everybody knows when they see the slime, that's from Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So that's okay. So that's interesting.
What about generic military guy from PUBG or from Fortnite?
Oh God.
Just the guy you start off with. No Fortnite in there.
No.
Dude,
what about
I was thinking
Jimmy
Spyro.
Lee? One of the Double Dragons. Billy and Jimmy.
Oh yes.
Oh, nice.
That would be.
I was thinking
cool.
Contra as well. That's a
Yeah,
decent kind of era.
that's where I started with the
Yeah.
Contra. And
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what about Billy? Or what was the one boss in Contra 2? Bobo or Lobo or
yeah,
whatever?
Yeah,
The big bald dude.
Lobo?
Yeah, that's true. What about Final Fight? One of those characters.
Oh,
I mean, 'cause
Hagar.
The thing is, you could bring them all in as this Echo that they've got, or is it
Yeah.
Echo? What's the alternate?
Echo Fighter.
Echo-
Yep.
yeah.
Echo Fighter.
Fighters.
You could just do like one brawler,
Yeah.
and all the
all
Echoes
of
are
them.
just like you just fill them
I
all
like
in.
it. I like it.
I liked. Yeah, man, I like the idea behind.
That would be so good, dude.
Dude, that's just crazy. Okay, so I mean, do we have anything else we want to add to that, or we think we're pretty good?
The last thing I would say, I wish Skylanders was more popular because I'm looking at a closet full of Skylander
Oh,
toys, and they were amazing. Some really cool characters
Ooh.
in there,
That
but
is
it's just
true.
never. It's not known enough. I don't think. Like there's just too
Yeah.
many characters.
Yeah.
So
Sean, I was thinking you're there at Josh's place. There's got to be like a card table with all this like old gamer memorabilia he's looking to flip. There's got to be some ideas you can just pull
the
from there.
inspiration I originally took when I came over to Josh's house to podcast was I was like, why don't we just have like the old consoles be a character? You just have like because he's got like 16 like GameCubes right here. They could all like be like a transformer and like kind of combine into a big GameCube monster
Look out
robot.
for the
thing.
power pad.
Yeah,
Mr.
the 64 attaches to the DD,
Mr.
and then the 4 controllers reach out at you.
Mr.
Oh,
Bad
boy.
Bit is saying, "Where's Gex the Gecko love?" There's no love because it's a garbage game. Like,
Oh, what
He
about
just-
Echo the Dolphin?
He had like 2 good one-liners. That's about it.
Unless you're Echo the Dolphin.
Oh my
just,
gosh!
Like
God.
beach.
He just flops around
Just like,
Jesus.
like that Pokemon
Yeah.
fish that I don't remember the name.
Oh my god. And I
just
have
flopping.
that I'm walking around with.
Oh, it's so bad.
Magikarp.
That's the one thing.
Magikarp. Yep.
All right. So
Thank you, Mr. Tibble.
I don't play Pokemon. Come at me.
yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
What's the what was the other topic that we had, Sean?
Oh, something about that other thing, that Star Fox.
No, we had.
Star Fox.
I gave 3. We'll
I got
okay.
it. I got it. You on it?
I've got you guys up on the screen.
If we ran Nintendo, would we have replaced Kimishima when Nintendo did,
yes.
or would he
Okay.
still be our president right now?
So that's the question I wanted to get into. Do we feel like the timing was right to replace Kimishima? There was a time when I wanted to I would throw this at Sean every now and again. Like, would we have fired Iwata
Miyamoto.
during the Miyamoto was another one, but would we have fired
Mm-hmm.
Iwata when the Wii U was like in the downward spiral? People look at Iwata as, you know, a great ambassador. I love Iwata, and please don't take this at all the wrong way. But there was a time
Please understand.
when things were really going bad, and I mean, he actually gave money back to the company. He took a decrease in pay to do all that. So my question was always to Sean, but Sean was like, "No, I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to bring it up." So, but this
What?
you always said you didn't want to do it. You didn't want to do that topic. You were like, "I don't know if that topic would go over that well." You used to always say it.
I don't remember that.
I wish I recorded it. So,
Yeah.
my question here though is, if we ran Nintendo, would we have replaced Kimishima now, or would we have just let him hang on a little bit longer as president? Like, was the timing right? Would we have done it? What, you know? So, Sean, I'll throw
Timing's
it to you.
For me, timing is perfect.
You
Timing is perfect. Yeah, I think that between the Pokemon game and the Smash game coming up, and with Octopath Traveler actually kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting right now, now is not the time to be messing with. Later is actually not the time to be messing with leadership, because we have big things coming. We've already got Mario and Zelda in the rearview mirror. We've got Smash ready to go.
Mhm.
We've got Pokemon ready to go. The summer's kind of this lull. Let's just like this. The Switch has its momentum right now, so go ahead and meddle with all the stuff at the top at this moment to carry us through like the next 5 to 10 to maybe even 25 years. Who knows with this new person? The thing is that the change had to happen no matter what. Kimishima was
definitely, yeah.
never meant to be permanent. So
No.
then it just becomes a matter of time of like, or a question of when. So is it like last year? Was it right after? Like, was he supposed to be temporary for a matter of months? Was it a number of years? I think now was at the absolute perfect time. And we can look forward to like, what does it mean after we get through this year? Everybody's gonna be satisfied with their Switch for, you know, the first 2 years.
Mhm.
We're really where I think the question comes into who's leading the ship.
Mhm.
Starts in 2019, going like, what do we have in store? And that's when this new person can kind of come in and go, this is what we got. You got your Switch, you got your Mario, you got your Pokemon, your Smash and everything. And now here's what the next 5 years looks like with Nintendo. And because I've had enough time to kind of craft that strategy with the team.
Jason, where's your head at?
You know, when I was first thinking about this, you know, I thought when he was announced, I wasn't sure what to think. You know, I wasn't, because you think this is a guy that's very business oriented, maybe not be. We're used to Iwata, which is very much he could be that business guy, but he was very much a gamer and a developer. He's always said he was a gamer first.
Yeah,
and so we're used to that mindset. But I think I can go kind of both ways here. But Kimishima was the right guy, I think, at the right time, because you needed that business mind to say, you know, things aren't going in this right direction. We need to turn things around. We need to right the ship. We need to get going off on a new tangent, a new directory. And I think he was part of that guiding force to help achieve that.
Yeah.
And now, while I think that he still was riding great momentum, and it's like, was it the right time? But now, you know, listen to Sean. I think it does make sense, because he served the purpose that you needed him to do. He came in, and I mean, it didn't feel like anything for me. Nothing changed. It was still Nintendo, and all of a sudden, Nintendo has just money hand over fist, which is that's great. That's what I want for a company that I love. I want them to be profitable. I want people to have jobs. I want things to be great. And I think he came in, did what he needed to do, and now they found someone that very much harkens back to Iwata in a sense. You know, has that background, was a gamer, grew up, you know, playing these games of Nintendo, grew up looking up to these icons of the industry, and now we're going off in this uncharted territory with this new direction.
I think for me personally, what makes me a little nervous is the fact of the investors are very fickle. We could see, like, right after E3, their stock started to dive a bit. And it was also... And I think people also don't even correlate the fact that Kimishima leaving was the exact same time as well. He left just before E3. So I think that when people looked at, like, Kimishima's gone, he's the one that got us back to the promised land, in their minds anyway. Kimishima's got it back to on track where we need to be. He added stability to the company, got us moving forward again. Now he's gone. They're not really announcing much at E3. This young kid's coming in who's really not a proven commodity.
No, not yet.
So I think that's where the investors... And my fear is this. I feel like the investors sometimes would attempt or try to push Iwata around a little bit. I feel like with this new guy, they're going to maybe try to see what they can get away with again. But I felt with Kimishima, he boldened enough respect because he had been with the company for so long that he just basically went in there and was like, this is what we're doing. And nobody really questioned it. Nobody really gave him a hard time. And he was making all the right moves. The other thing, too, is, like, I also feel like it's a matter of, like, old guard versus the new guard. And meaning Iwata was more of the new guard. Iwata was implementing and doing new things that nobody had done within Nintendo for years. Kimishima kind of went back to the old, not completely, but kind of back to the old way of doing business. But he also listened. And that was a weird thing, was we're not used to Nintendo listening to fans. And it felt like Kimishima kind of listened to what we wanted and would course correct a little bit. Like, if things weren't going the way they thought, he would just go, okay, pivot, and kind of, like, you know, do an update to the Switch, and then boom, we get things that they told us we couldn't get at the beginning. And it's just kind of weird to see that thing happen. I'm just curious whether the new president will continue this way of thinking and moving forward, or if time will tell, I think. So that's what makes me nervous.
So I think that's a second question too, like, because you're talking about, like, was now the right time, or, like, was the move the right move at all? Like, would you have maybe liked to see Kimishima become permanent? Because, like, I don't know about you, like, the first time I ever saw him, he's very serious and very serious, almost in the way of, like you look at me like, okay, so clearly there's a statue of this man outside of the building. Like, I don't know why there's just like, where's his monument? Because he just looks like such an established dude. Yeah. And I could honestly, like, if they were to announce, like, another major console that's going to come in the next like 3 years or whatever, the next time that they launch a thing, I really feel like they could just like, here's our fixer. Even though if nothing else is broken, even if Switch is doing quite well, they're like, you know what? Just take out this guy, put in Kimishima, let him stick the landing again.
Yeah.
Because you can't, like, let's be honest, like, you know, rest in peace, all respect to Iwata.
Yeah.
Wii U 3DS launching, just really brutal stuff.
Yeah.
And then this guy who's never launched a console with them before, at least not at that level, of course, sticks it perfectly.
Yeah.
So if like maybe that's like a specialty, maybe he has like a certain set of skills and you can find your daughter in Romania.
His thing was he worked with the hardware. He knew what worked, what didn't work. He is on record as saying that he didn't think the Wii U was right. That he didn't think that it was that it was going to go out the right way, and the way they were marketing it was wrong. And I mean, Sean, you remember like when we had Jules on the very first time years ago, and he said, conversations with Nintendo of America was basically like America didn't know it. Like America was telling Japan we're doing this, and Japan's going like, okay, go ahead. But they weren't. The lack of communication was totally off. America wanted to go more mature. Japan was going more family friendly still, and then boom, it hits, and the Wii U just bang tanks. So when I look at this and I look at what Kimishima has done, it's explosive what the guy did, man. I mean, he came in at a time when the company needed it, and you gotta think, man. There was so much negativity around Nintendo at the end of the Wii U. Like, it was done. People go back and look at the articles. Nintendo should give up hardware and go third party. That's every article that was coming out at that time. And this guy comes in and just totally just flips the table over and is like, come at me. Like, we're going to change the way things are done, and this is the way we're going to do it. And he just nailed it. So, for me personally, he's gone, but I'm like, damn, I wish the guy was still around. For me personally. And if I ran Nintendo, I would probably be like, we needed to be like an advisor to this guy for at least 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, and if there's something that he's doing that you absolutely don't agree with, you get to override him. Because
like it almost like somebody needed to like shadow him a little bit and kind of be mentored by him a little bit as well. Because the other aspect of the dynamic here is that the Switch was ultimately set up by Iwata.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
He was in it, and I think that we all kind of like, of course, we slam the launches for 3DS and for the Wii U. Kimishima comes in, sticks the line and gets a lot of credit for that. And it would have been great to have like if this new president has like the experience sort of like Iwata did, where like he's more familiar with the games and more in touch with the community, to have that as a driving force, but then still have the wisdom and experience of Kimishima to like do and execute on what needs to be done, and have that person next to him like in more of a mentor type of role. I'm saying this completely talking out of my ass because he already had that, and maybe that's something that we can look forward to. So in terms of timing, I still stand by my first point in that timing couldn't have been better. Next year is way more critical than this year was. This is a year that is like, so you can still kind of ride off the success of the launch. So if you're going to make a change, better this year than too late into the system where it's like, man, because things can really fall off in year 3 or 4. So he has some time now to kind of make next year.
I think I look at Sony as the role model, I guess. And people can say how successful they're doing and all that, and that's fine. I feel Jackie T was he launched the console, had the skyrocket take off, the rocket ship take off, and I feel like now the Sean Layton's kind of coming in and he's riding the ego of something he didn't do. And I feel like now you're seeing it's going to hurt them. I really believe it's going to hurt them moving forward when it comes to PS5. I've been saying that for a while, and I really
that's an interesting point, man. That's a really interesting point because now
that's the thing that worries me is does Kimishima he launched the Switch and it's exploding. I mean, look at it may not do PS4 numbers at the end.
I think it will. I
don't want to be that guy that's going like, oh, it's going to crush the PS4. I think it's going to sell a lot. I think it's going to be
100 million units.
I think it's going to rival the Wii. I really do. I think it's going to rival the Wii and where it's going and all that.
Well, you're in PS4 territory there.
Yeah, that's true. And then, but the problem is now if this guy now becomes like a Sean Layton where he's thumping his chest off of something he really didn't do, we could have problems. And I think that's what we need to be leery of. And that's what I am leery of. That's where I would have liked to see Kimishima stick around for a little bit longer.
He'll be back. He'll come in his trench coat and crack his knuckles and just be like, we're getting down to business, everybody. Enough screwing around. We got to fix the Splatoon business.
I wanted to, something you said.
Toilet paper goes underneath.
Something you said that was kind of interesting. And I was thinking it as you were saying it. And I was going to pose this question as it went through. But is this launch really Kimishima, or do you feel like this launch is really Iwata?
No, I think the launch, like I said, the sticking the landing is the thing I've been saying a couple times. I think that is the execution of it, Kimishima 1,000%.
Yeah.
What he had to deliver, what the marketing is built out of a solid product and out of a solid lineup, and they were able to get the developers at some point. But I think the vision of what the Switch was Iwata, and then he was able to go actually sell that vision and go to the third parties and get the third party support that we've been screaming about for years and years on this show. It was this boring rhetoric that we kept saying over and over and over again. That's Kimishima, man.
I got yelled at for that.
Yeah. They got, can you imagine, Bobby? They got image. It's amazing.
The thing of it is, too, is like when you read the articles, when you hear about like Iwata being in the hospital bed and the developers on the Zelda game coming to him and basically just like, do what you got to do. Just, and even before he was in the hospital, when he sat with them and it was just like, whatever you're thinking will change the mold, go do it. And that to me, and the same thing with Odyssey, like it was the same philosophy between all these games. And that's the thing, like you look at all the games that didn't do that well on the Wii U, and then they come back the second time on the Switch, and it's just like home run after home run after home run. And that to me is pretty impressive to see. And that's the software, as Reggie always says, software drives hardware. And that's where I think I get into the thing of like, well, who really did this? Who was it?
You got to be soft before you go hard, Bobby.
Oh boy.
Right? It's not the other way. I mean, I guess could go the other way around too, eventually.
That is all. Thank you guys for listening to If We Ran Nintendo, episode 113. I am Bobby the Nintendo Guru. I'm joined by Mr. Jason Lacey over here. Follow him over on the Twitters at JW Lacey. Follow Sean Capri, Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants. Check me out over on NintendoGuru.com. Peace out, Preston.